Hey everybody, and welcome back to another toy review, and a long anticipated one. Just because right when Fallen Kingdom came out, I kind of fell in love with the new Sinoceratops in the show. Or in the movie, and it really stood out to me. And we just never got a toy, just probably because they changed it from the Pachyrhinosaurus in the very beginning, and things got complicated, and completely understand. But finally, Mattel has given us a show. I always say show, but now show and movie accurate Sinoceratops, just because it has been recently refeatured in the new Camp Cretaceous show. I won't be talking any spoilers, just because I want to give people the ample amount of time to watch it. I've seen it all myself. It was wonderful. I had a blast, and I honestly can't recommend watching it enough. If you're a Jurassic Park fan, or if you're just looking for something to watch on Netflix, it's really good. But anyways, I thought I would just give my thoughts on this Sinoceratops, and even though it is my favorite dinosaur, and I'm very biased towards this figure, I will kind of give my best and most accurate thoughts about how I felt about it. There are a few little things that I wish that they could have improved, but overall, I am so happy to finally have this just in my collection. Alright, so today I thought I'd do a more traditional toy review and just kind of give my thoughts. Right off the bat though, that Camp Cretaceous packaging looks so well with the Primal Attack line, and it really just ties in well, and finally we don't get to see Blue and Owen, just something different, something new. On the back itself, you'll notice there's a little kind of like maze or sticker thing, I believe, along with some other stuff for the kids, but then also just shows some beautiful kind of like images of the Sinoceratops. And then there you see Carnotaurus there. Yeah, so overall, I just really enjoyed just how the packaging looked, how well it tied in, and I guess we'll just unbox right now. So you'll notice again, like I'm actually re-recording this lines, or just this stuff, just because it's just easier for me, and then also the audio picks up a little bit better when I record separately. But right off the bat though, when I first opened it up, I was very surprised about how heavy it was, and just kind of the weight it has. I think you'll notice like I'll start to carry it and move it around, but again, like as soon as you kind of get it out of the packaging, it's very large, to be honest. One of the bigger, I think, one of not the biggest ceratopsians I think we've got. I do have the others on the shelf, but they're kind of hard to get to, and you can see right off the bat the striking kind of just the whole head of Sinoceratops really is translated well into this figure, and just again the heft, you can really feel just how like big it is compared to some of the other stuff in the kind of that $14 line. And then also the sheer amount of detail they're putting into the face is just amazing. So many little bumps and crevices, kind of really lends itself well to the figure. And the horn itself is actually a little bit larger than what I've seen in the show and kind of in the movies too, but I think it's just kind of cool to have those exaggerated features even more so on the figure. But yeah, also when I was trying to show is one horn or one spike is not painted on both sides of the face. And on some of the promotional images, or I think when there was the toy fair in New York, they did show it, but yeah, for some reason it doesn't have that spike. Again, yeah, showing the heft of the figure. The other thing that I noticed right off the bat was very Sinoceratops thing, I guess, is those ribs and that kind of fold of fat there, and also on the arm. I noticed that a lot when I was playing the Jurassic World Evolution game. It has a lot of folds and creases, and I'm really happy that that translated well, even on the side. The next thing I did notice was the tail itself is actually very long. I know a lot of complaints that people have with Mattel is the tail's just not being too, or just kind of them shortening it, but completely accurate and very long for this one. Alright, so I did want to point out a few things that are a little bit of a negative for me, even though just like the face sculpt is so wonderful and the whole animal is just really greatly represented. But right here you can see like there's some type of little kind of chip there. I guess that's where the mold comes out of. I also noticed the again the horn spikes, wish those were painted, and then there's like a small little scuff on the big horn there. Another thing that I would like them to do was have like a kind of like a cream colored bottom, like a lot of the things, and instead of having these kind kind of splotches. I'd rather have those stripes instead that Sinoceratops is known for. But I did notice that the color that they chose is kind of a mix that what you see in the movie and the just the show. So I think that's a good middle ground, just because there's a lot of variations of Sinoceratops now. But overall, I really did enjoy the figure, and just kind of like how well it really translated from the movie and the show. So yeah, and just beautifully kind of hefty and large. You can really feel the weight on it. And just like, I love the face sculpt. I have no idea why I fell in love with the Sinoceratops, but it was just something new and something different, and it really made like the Jurassic World franchise a lot bigger than just Triceratops and stuff like that. I know it doesn't get represented too much in like advertising and stuff like that, but I feel like with this movie, hopefully we get more kind of stuff with Sinoceratops, because I really do love the figure. Now I just thought I would test a few of the roars and let you hear that, so I'll just kind of play that right now. And I was very pleasantly surprised and kind of happy to see that we had some herbivore roars in there, and just kind of very accurate to a herbivore dinosaur in Jurassic Park. So next, what I wanted to do is just kind of show you how big the Sinoceratops is compared to some of the other stuff. I have an old figure that I actually bought from Ross for, I think it was like only $7 or $8, and you can just kind of see how massive the Sinoceratops is, and I'm so happy that my favorite dinosaur was not kind of scaled down. I would say though that compared to the Carnotaurs that I don't have, the Toro one, they're just like way too different, and they should be more of a similar kind of height. But you know, that's just how kind of Jurassic World works when it comes to toys. Always have to make the carnivores bigger than the herbivores. But you can see how well it pairs with Bumpy as well. I did a drawing of those two together before I kind of knew what was going to happen in the show. But yeah, just very cool, very large of a figure, and one of the, I really have to say, this might be the best primal attack, and one of the best kind of sculpts they've done this year. Mattel has given us so many great sculpts, but I just really think that they've captured the Sinoceratops perfectly here. I've seen a lot of people repainting the Sinoceratops here, and they have just been great. But even with this base sculpt, I kind of don't want to touch it myself, because they've gotten just really close to what I wanted, and almost completely. And I also want to show you guys the barcode here, or the scan code, so you can get that. So hopefully that kind of focuses in a bit. But yeah, I would have to give the Sinoceratops maybe like an 8.5, maybe almost like a 9 out of 10. I did want to start ranking them, just to how much I enjoyed the figure. And I think it also just perfectly captured what the Sinoceratops was. I've been seeing with all these reviews, some of the more non-JP or just kind of like dinosaur collectors always say it's not first of all, it's not accurate. But I'm like, just it's from the movie. We've all known that Jurassic Park animals aren't accurate, and they're supposed to be fun. So I feel like people, every time they start a review of something that's from Jurassic Park, they have to state that. But at this point of the game, I'm just like, we understand. I just want to have a fun, kind of cool dinosaur sculpt and dinosaur design. And people never give the people that did design these things at Universal credit, because this is an amazing and kind of like interesting design. And it played off of the fossil counterpart really well, I believe. So yeah, those are just my thoughts about that. I think it's just a really great figure, a really just kind of long time coming for this dinosaur, and I just hope we see more of these kind of like dinosaurs that Mattel hasn't done yet, but that are part of the Jurassic Park franchise. I'll leave you guys with me scanning in the kind of code, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy. Thanks, guys.